by people with more than 20 years of experience in sugar trading, Sugar King Food Industries Incorporated started its operations in 2008. Since then, we have always aimed to fulfill and satisfy both wholesale and retail clients by sourcing high-quality sugar from different provinces across all regions. Now, we take pride as a manufacturer of the superfine powdered sugar that has the right blend, subtle sweet taste, and aroma perfect for creating sweet food products like cakes and pastries. Sugar King Confectioner's powdered sugar doesn't have to go through the sifting process. No sift required saves you preparation and cooking time. Less the hassle, more the drizzle. We offer the finest premium quality powdered sugar that is most affordable in the market. Within your means, you can have your baked goods affordable too, without compromising the taste and quality. Rest assured that our powdered sugar is accurate in weight as it goes through strict quality process, making it worthy of every cent. Sugar King Confectioner's powdered sugar offers consistent quality up to the last dash, making it reliable on every baking needs. Sugar King Confectioner's powdered sugar, the new powdered sugar in town. Shift to no sift. Stay tuned, for we are bringing you more as we expand. Sugar King Food Industries Incorporated, adding sweetness to your life.
Dear Father, we praise you for all the things that you have done, for who you are, for your love, for your grace and mercy. Thank you that we are able to have free online baking demos. We pray that you would guide all the chef demonstrators and that all viewers would be able to learn from them. We lift you up this program, and may you always be the center of our activities. All honor belongs to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Hello everyone! Welcome to Sugar King Christmas Jingle Bakes Episode 2. 44 days na lang before Christmas. Last week kasama natin si Chef Emily and gumawa tayo ng Cream Puff Tower Christmas Edition. So marami ang nagtatanong sa ginawa ni Chef Emily na wala kasi siyang support dun sa loob. So maraming namangha and ganun yung process, yung pagtunaw ng brown sugar syrup na yung pala yung magiging parang glue mo dun sa mga cream puff. So yun, thank you sa lahat ng nag-watch nun. And for today po, syempre, this demo po ay handog ni Sugar King. Ang pamaskong online demo na ito sa inyong lahat upang makapaghatid ng makabagong kaalaman na makakatulong sa inyong paghahanda sa darating na Pasko na pwede nyo ring pagkakitaan. Bigyan natin ng saya at kulay at tamis ang inyong Pasko kasama ang Sugar King. For our episode 2 ng Sugar King Christmas Jingle Bakes demo, we will be doing a French macarons and meringue cookie tower. Our demonstrator for today was trained at several establishments, both local and international. He was the pioneer pastry chef of Paul Boulangerie Philippines, also an active instructor and demo chef for numerous brands and culinary and pastry consultant to a number of cafe and restaurants in Manila, Cebu, and Davao. Recently, he won Bronze Award on Cake Fiesta Manila Wedding Cake category. Please welcome Chef MJ Lituco.
Hello,
Hi,
everyone. Hello, Camille. Merry
Hi.
Christmas. Grabe, 44 days na lang.
Yes, 44 days na lang before Christmas. Grabe, ramdam na ramdam ko na ang simoy ng Pasko.
Yun nga. So,
Yes.
what better way to celebrate Christmas? 'Di ba? So, syempre, yung mga families natin, we bond over food. So, talagang patok na patok ang kahit anong pagkain.
Yes, totoo yan. At syempre, bago tayo magsimula, sino ba yung mga nanonood natin ngayon? Sino ba yung mga viewers natin? So, tignan nga natin kung sino-sino sila. By the way, chef, ang featured store natin ngayon ay si Kate and Eric's Bakery Supply. So, yan, families. Saan si Gloria? Hi, chef. Kilala mo ba to, chef? Hindi,
Hindi
ikaw,
eh.
ano
Pero
yung
hello,
familiar?
Miss Anne. So, thank you so much for tuning in. So,
Ay, ba?
marami kayong matututunan.
Yes, for today, ito yung parang, itong French macarons, maraming nagtatanong kasi nito. Yung iba kasi medyo, alam mo na, pag nagsisimula pa lang sila, hindi nila ma-perfect yung macarons. So maraming nagtaas, ano kaya yung tamang gawin? Oh, parang kilala ko to, chef. Kevin Bisperas. Sino yan?
Hello, Kevin. So, all the way from Pangasinan, I believe.
Pangasinan! Hello po.
3 beses siyang nanalo ng gold for wedding cake. So,
Wow,
So, thank you so much for watching. So,
Yes.
thank you so much for supporting as well. So,
Yes, opo. And then si Miss Sanso Gloria pala is watching from Bataan. Hello po, ma'am.
Wow,
Hi.
ang layo.
Chef, teka, may nakita akong assistant mo dito. Parang nakita ko siya sa Cake Fiesta Manila.
sino yan?
Kelvin Linda? Nanalo siya ng...
Nanalo siya sa wedding cake category, 2nd place.
Wow! Hi po, sir! Kelvin Linda. Mag-hi ka naman sa mga fans mo. Sorry, mahihayin po talaga siya. So, kayo assistant ni Chef ngayon.
Yes.
Ayan, hello din po, Chef Kevin Vispera. Gusto ko yung makita in person.
Yes, soon. So,
Okay.
together with, with Chef Raymar.
Yes. Hello po din, Chef
Kita-kita
Raymar.
tayo soon.
Si Chef Raymar from Batangas.
Yes, Chef Raymar is from Batangas, then Kevin Visperas is from Pangasinan.
Yes, okay po. Chef, marami natatanong Sa comment, nag-post tayo ng recipe natin. Ayan, spelling tayo ngayon.
Okay,
Chef, ikaw ang
spelling.
mag-explain yan.
Okay.
Single O or double O?
Okay, that's a very good question. So, ano ba talaga ang spelling ng macaroons?
Yes.
Double O ba or single O? So, technically, if we are talking about French, single O lang dapat siya. So, macaron. That's why kung makikita niyo sa recipe, macaron de Paris.
Wow.
Kapag English naman, sabi ko sa iyo, mag-French language tayo today.
Hindi ako
So-
pwede Chinese na lang. Joke lang.
Okay, so that's why, you know what, magkakaroon tayo ng virtual trip to Paris kasi French macaroon is one of those iconic na desserts sa France or sa Paris specifically. So, so going back, ano bang spelling? So again, kapag English, double O. So again, we're talking about the French macaroon na gumagamit ng almond, ha? We're
Okay.
not gonna make the coconut macaroon kasi meron tayong coconut macaroon locally. And for today's recipe, we are going to use the ground almonds. So this is the traditional, iconic French macaroon. Okay? So again, review tayo.
Review. Okay, may
Double
exam.
O kapag English, macaroons. If it's
Macaroons?
French, macaron.
So, ibig sabihin, chef, walang mali naman.
Walang mali, yes. So parehong
okay.
tama yon. Depende lang kung anong language ang ginagamit natin.
Okay. Alam ko, chef, marami nang gustong makanood at gusto nang magsimula. So, chef, ready ka na ba? Okay na ba yung mga ingredients mo?
Yes, of course, ready na tayo. So,
Okay. So,
and of course, syempre, ang star ingredient natin is using our Sugar King Confectioner's powdered sugar.
Yes.
Okay.
Ito yun. Chef, sige,
Ayan.
go.
So, ayan. So, by the way, ginamit ko to dun sa wedding cake category ko. So, sobrang ganda niya for fondant and sobrang ganda niya for stringworks or royal icing. So, if I were you, kung di pa kayo nakakagamit nito, I highly recommend Sugar King for your pastry or powdered sugar requirement.
Yes. Ikaw ba, Chef Kelvin? Ito rin mo yung gamit mo dun sa napanalunan ng silver award.
Yeah, yun yung gamit ko.
Mahihayin po siya. So, wait lang. Sinabit natin yung mic. Okay, sige. Ano masasabi mo sa Sugar King powdered sugar?
Dati kasi gumagamit ako sinisave.
Oh, teka lang. Bawal lang ito. Ano?
So, nalilesen yung trabaho ko. At the same time, just put it on the boat, tapos makakagawa ka na ng fine na fondant. It's really nice, lalo sa string works kasi hindi siya nagkakulag.
Yes.
So, tas very stable.
Yes, kaya sa mga viewers natin na hindi pa nakaka-try ng Sugar King, mag-try na kayo. Sobrang affordable siya, but premium quality po siya. Yes.
And you know what? Sana before meron ng ganito kasi iba talaga yung consistency ng fondant ko when I actually tried it. So, it's very smooth. And days after, ganun pa rin yung consistency niya. Ha?
Wow,
Parang
okay.
ininit ko lang siya ng few seconds, then it's back to that elastic fondant that we are eyeing for, especially sa mga cake makers na nanonood dyan.
Okay. Galing. Okay, tabi na natin
Okay,
to. Dahil
sige.
naka-ready naman na ang ingredients ni Chef
Yes.
MJ. Chef MJ, ano yung magiging participation ng ating Sugar King Confectioner's powdered sugar sa yung French macaron?
Okay, so for French macaron, simpleng-simple lang talaga siya eh. So, it is technically made out of 4 basic ingredients. Eto, extra lang siya. So, yeah, 4 basic ingredients. Teka, yan.
Yan, teka, pwede ba natin ipantay yung screen doon sa ano natin? Para mas
Yan,
mabigyan.
perfect. Okay. So, 4 basic ingredients. Kung titingnan nyo, sobrang basic lang yan. Makikita nyo to sa household nyo, sa kitchen nyo. Of course, yung iba nahihirapan sa pag-source out ng ating almond. But generally, yung magiging use ng ating powdered sugar for macaron is the base. Okay? So, pansin nyo, simpleng-simple lang siya. Wala
Yes.
nga ng flour eh, di
Ang
ba?
konti lang, Chef, ng
Yes, apat lang.
ingredients.
Imagine, I'm sure nakakapunta kayo sa mall, tapos ma-check nyo kung magkano yung French macaron.
Ang
It's as
mahal.
in, I think sa Greenbelt, 150 per piece.
Chef, dahil ba mahal ang almond flour?
Yes, and primarily, masarap naman kasi talaga siya. Masarap siya, and at the same time, medyo medyo mahirap din siyang gawin if you would think of it. Dumidepende siya sa weather ng maulan ba sa area nyo. Kasi ako, I prefer to make French macaroon in a sunny weather. Especially kapag hindi naman sealed yung kitchen nyo. So when I was starting out, yun, I make it to a point na dapat dry yung environment kasi syempre we're handling sugar eh. So may tendency talaga na if it's going to respond dun sa humidity ng surroundings natin. Okay, so going back sa question mo, ano yung magiging use ng ating powdered sugar dun sa ating recipe? So basically, yun yung magfo-form ng paste dun sa ating meringue. Okay? So mamaya, makikita nyo paghahaluin ko tong dalawang ingredients na to. And sa traditional or sa common recipe ng French macaroon, sinisift tong dalawang to eh. Sinisift ton. But since yung powdered sugar natin, it has a no sift, so yan, it has a no sift property, so malinis ang kamay ko. So, yes. So since it has a no sift property, hindi isi-skip natin yung step na yun. Especially if you're doing a mass production ng French macaroon, that particular step will save you so much time.
Okay.
Diba? Kasi gaganon ka pa, tapos kailangan yan, dumaan muna yan sa strainer bago natin siya gamitin. But I'll show you later on, hindi na natin siya kailangang i-sift and we will get a very good result later on.
Eh, gusto ko yan. Chef, start na tayo.
Yes,
Excited
of course, we can start. All right, so thank you so much, Camille, for
Yes.
that
Yes,
lovely
opo.
introduction. And of course, this is my second time with Sugar King, and thank you so much for the trust. So without further ado, let's make some macaroons, okay?
Okay,
Alright.
let's start.
So, before tayo mag-start, kapag ako kasi nagturo din ako sa culinary school, and of course, I would require my students to actually have a writing material together habang nakikinig sila sa demo ko. And of course, it will actually help them to, write down all of those key techniques that will allow them to actually replicate the product or at least, come up with a fail-proof French macaroons. So, if I may request, kung seryoso talaga kayo sa pagbibake, this particular demo, I will go ahead and share techniques wherein it will be beneficial for your French macaroon production. Okay? So, sa mga nagtatanong dyan, by the way, culinary talaga ako. So, more on mga ulam, mga cuisines, ang napag-aralan ko. So, si French macaroon, ito yung mga first few pastries that I've actually learned after I left culinary school. Okay? So, yung mga friends ko na pastry chef dati na nag-ask ako, sabi ko, ano ba yung magandang recipe for French macaroon? And ano yung mga key pointers? So, eto, nag-struggle din talaga ako. When I was starting out, nag-struggle din ako sa macaroons kasi yung iba, wala tayong feet. Teka, let me show you. So, a classic French macaroon has that signature feet. Oh, let me go ahead and show it to you. Okay? So, meron siyang tinatawag na feet or pied in French. So, yun yung iconic visual look ng French macaroon. So for this particular recipe, maliliit lang yung macarons na gagawin natin. Okay? So, pero kailangan makitaan siya ng feet or pied in French. So sabi ko sa inyo, magkakaroon tayo ng French language for 101 for today. But you know what? Nothing to worry kasi I will explain everything during this demo. Okay. So, the recipe that we've actually supplied dun sa website or dun sa page ng Hello, Miss Judith, which is watching from Taguig City. Hello, thank you so much for tuning in. So, going back, yung recipe na binigay ko for Sugar King. Hello, Charlie. Hello. Thank you so much for watching. I believe she's watching all the way from Alabang. Okay. Nagcarlan. Nagcarlan is in Laguna, right? I think that's in Laguna. Malapit yan sa Laguna. Okay. Okay, so the recipe that I've actually shared sa page ng Sugar King, that's my personal recipe na ginamit ko when I was starting out. And you know what? Hello, Miss Maripal Rocha. Actually, that's my aunt. She's watching all the way from Los Angeles, California. Thank you so much, Tita, for your support. And by the way, nagbe-bake din yung tita ko. So, tita, if you're watching, you can actually replicate this French macaroon. Okay. So, you might be thinking, tried and tested ko ba yung recipe? Yes. When I was, ganong katanda na ba yung recipe na yan? I believe it's 9 years old. So, yan yung ginagamit ko na recipe for whenever I would, I have orders for French macaroons. Tapos, so yan yung full proof. Tapos yan din yung ginamit ko when I did my trade exam, when I was applying for hotels back when I was starting. Okay, now, let's talk about the ingredients. 4 basic ingredients that you can find in a baking supply store. So, let's start with the eggs. Ilang magagawang macaroon yan? So technically, it actually depends on how big you pipe your macaroons. But if it's a regular size macaroon, makakagawa yan approximately 15 to 20 pieces. Yung traditional standard store-bought size na macaroon. So 15 to 20 pieces. Okay? Going back sa recipe or sa ingredients. So we have Maricor watching from Binangonan. Wow, thank you so much. So we have the egg whites. Chef, ano yung magiging, this is, pansin nyo, basic siya na 4 na ingredients. But you have to make sure na you are sourcing out the best ingredients, the best powdered sugar, the best almond flour. When I say the best almond flour, it is ground, finely ground. So wala siyang buo-buo. So kung mapapansin nyo, it's very fine. So that's actually a very good powdered or ground almonds. And then we have granulated sugar. So I'm using a white sugar, okay? White granulated sugar, and of course, egg whites, okay? So, pansin nyo, very basic, pero we will inject so much techniques to transform these basic ingredients into something delicious, okay? So, I believe 2 to 3 years ago, nag-boom ang French macaroon, so maraming nag-try gumawa ng macaroons. But you know what? For those who haven't tried baking macaroons, this is actually a very good recipe. And all you have to do is just watch and follow my techniques that I will be sharing over the demo. Now, eggs. Let's talk about the egg whites. So, Bonifacio. So, watching from, wow, all the way from Boracay. So, I wish I could join you in Boracay. So, eggs. It has to be room temperature. So, whenever we would whip cream, diba, it has to be chilled, your bowl has to be chilled in order for you to come up with. So we have Dorina all the way from Angeles, Pampanga. Thank you so much, Dorina. So for our egg whites, actually meron ako nabasa sa libro. It has to be blood temp. So syempre, hindi mo naman kailangan kunin yung temperature ng blood mo in order for you to follow that specific instruction. But the general concept for the egg white, hello Miss Shaira, watching from Cavite. Hello, thank you so much for tuning in, Miss Shaira. So, egg whites, it has to be room temperature. Contrary or kabaliktaran siya nung cream. Kasi si cream, it has to be chilled, it has to be cold in order for you to be able to whip. But with egg whites, it has to be warm. Okay? So this one, kinip lang namin siya sa room temperature in order for me to be able to use it effectively. Okay? Kasi sa mga nagbe-bake dyan, I'm sure yung mga gumagamit ng egg whites, hello Miss Jen from Caloocan. So we have from Miss J, ilang years na ako nagtitry laging fail. And yes, all you have to do is follow my key pointers, and I'm sure you'll be able to come up with a very good French macaroon. All right, now, eggs, it has to be warm. So it whips better if it's warmer. Okay. Now, let's move on to our sugar. So this one doesn't need very much explanation. I'm just using a white granulated sugar. So gagamitin natin to for our meringue or merengue. Okay? Next, ground almonds. So this one is finely ground. So mamaya, more often than not, nire-require ni recipe to have it sifted together with this. But we will skip that step. Hello, William, watching from Batangas. Hello, Miss Francesca, watching from QC. Okay, so, isi-skip natin yung sift because of that no-sift property ng ating Sugar King powdered sugar. You know what? I've actually tried this powdered sugar to fondants, gum paste, and it works beautifully. Now, I will use it to basic recipes such as macaroons, and papakita ko sa inyo na napaka-versatile nung product. Okay? So all I have to do is mix it together. No need to sift. Okay? So parang nahawa yung almond dun sa no-sift properties coming from our powdered sugar. IHM student from Batangas. Hello, Miss Ave. So, yes, I do agree with you. Macaroons are quite challenging. So, thank you so much for your support, Miss Ave. And of course, by the way, she's having a demo in Philippine Culinary Cup or WOFEX. So, you can actually catch Chef Ave in that specific event, which is ongoing as we speak. Okay, so basically, no need to sift. We are just going to whisk it together. So, ayan. And trust me, sa mga... So, Miss Linda is watching all the way from Valenzuela. So, sa mga gumagawa ng macaroons dyan, this is an extra step removed from your procedure. And of course, that will actually save you so much time. Okay? So again, now we are left with egg whites and granulated sugar. So some recipes, nagre-require sila. Hello, Chef Emily. So she's watching. Thank you so much, Chef Emily. So katatapos lang ng demo ni Chef Emily last last time. So thank you so much for tuning in. All right, so let's go ahead and proceed. So some recipes require cream of tartar or any acid. I believe squeeze of lemon, vinegar. So yung ibang recipes require for that. Ano ba yung purpose ng cream of tartar o kaya ng acid? So basically, ang ginagawa niya, pinapastable niya yung meringue. So basically, it's a meringue conditioner. Okay? But for this particular recipe, hindi na natin kailangan yun kasi so Miss Meds is watching from QC. Yes. When I was starting out, talagang malapit ko na siyang sukuan kasi there are certain recipes na pumapalpak talaga. But if you would follow my key techniques, hopefully, fingers crossed, you will be able to come up with a very good French macaroon. Okay? Alright, so going back dun sa stabilizer natin, which is a cream of tartar. Some recipes requires those stabilizers or conditioners. But for this particular, failed ako. So from Charlie, failed ako sa macaroons sa culinary school. Yes, you know what? Huwag kayong sumuko sa French macaroon kasi may mga moments talaga na it will fail. But ganun talaga yung buhay. Kapag mag-fail, go lang tayo ng go. Okay? So yan, hugot. So, alright, mamaya may hugot pa ako dun sa pag-assemble ng French macaroon. Okay, now. So, for this particular step, hindi natin kailangan ng stabilizers or conditioners kasi okay naman yung raw mats natin. So, we have a very good egg for our egg whites. Alright, so Raymart, all the way from LPU Batangas. Thank you so much for tuning in. So for this one, it's a very basic recipe, okay? By the way, I will have to mention there are two types of, there are two sets of recipes for French macaroon. The French method and the Italian method. So saan lang ba sila nagdi-differ? Basically, sa meringue production. So when you talk about French meringue, all you have to do is combine the granulated sugar together with your egg whites gradually. But with Italian method, from the name itself, it requires Italian meringue. So ano ba yung Italian meringue or Italian merengue? Gumagawa kayo ng sugar syrup, and then gradually you will introduce that to your egg whites while whipping. So we have a question from Miss Jen. Chef, pwede po bang hand mixer gamitin? Yes. Pwede. I've actually tried making French macarons before kasi nag-apply ako sa work. It just so happened na wala pa silang gamit sa kusina. A part ng trade exam ko is to come up with a macaroon. So I had to make the meringue manually. So, although nakuha ko naman yung trabaho, pero masakit lang talaga yung braso ko right after the exam. So yun lang yung downside. Yes, you can actually use a hand mixer. You can even use a manually come up or create your meringue. But it's gonna be very tiring. Sobrang workout yun. So, I suggest kung mag-whisk kayo, balik-balik ta rin nyo para pantay yung biceps nyo. Okay? Okay, so hopefully I've made myself clear when it comes to the difference between French and Italian. So again, French, simpleng-simple lang, introduce lang natin gradually si granulated sugar to egg whites. Whereas si Italian, we will come up with a sugar syrup, then gradually introduce natin sa egg whites. Gusto ko sanang itry, kaso mukhang mahal ang ingredients. You know what, Rowena? Meron namang nabibili na almond powder na 1/4, as low as 1/4. So, if you want to try this recipe, pwede ka naman bumili ng small amounts, which is as low as 1/4. Okay? So, you know what? There's no harm in trying, and at the end of the day, matututo kayo along the way. Alam nyo, I've had failed relationships? Joke lang yon. So, failed recipes in the past. O, diba? Nakuha ko yung attention nyo. failed recipes in the past, but you know what? You will actually learn. Ganon din sa failed relation. O, di ba? Nagising kayo, di ba? Okay. So, going back, let's start with our meringue. O, di ba? Hindi sila makamove on dun sa ano ko. So, by the way, Charlie was my culinary student back in a culinary school. So, thank you so much for tuning in. And yes, this is I highly recommend. Italian chef is the same as boiled icing. Yes, Miss Yap. Italian meringue is the same as boiled icing. Okay? So, pareho lang sila ng procedure. And by the way, since we're talking about meringue, isasama ko na rin si Swiss. Ano bang difference ni Swiss? So generally, si Swiss, introduce ko tong granulated sugar with egg whites over bain-marie or double boiler. Tapos gradually tutunawin natin yung granulated sugar. Pwede bang alternative ang cashew? Yes. Actually, I've seen a lot of recipes na maraming variation using cashew as long as mababa lang yung oil content ng nut. Kasi that is going to affect your meringue. Kasi most likely, kapag mataas yung oil content ng ating nuts, babagsak yung meringue. Okay? So, nagising na ba kayo? Okay. Kaloka yung hugot. Okay. Sinadya ko talaga yun para magising kayo. Okay, going back. So, hindi po showbiz ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon. Gagawa po tayo ng French macaroons. Okay. Now, we will set, if you could review your recipe that we've actually posted, it will require 2 set of egg whites coming from 2 eggs. So kung magme-measure din naman kayo, you may do so, but yung measurement na yon sakto sa 2 medium-sized eggs. Okay, medyo natatawa talaga ako dun sa usapang relasyon. Effective yung choice. Okay, without further ado, let's start with the meringue. Okay, so the first technique in coming up or baking your French macaroon is a very good meringue. So first and foremost, dapat yung egg whites, it has to be room temperature or warmer. Hindi naman yung sobrang warm na maluluto na siya. Again, egg whites whip better when it is warm. Okay? That's the first technique. So, now, we will set our mixer in medium speed. Tapos yung nilagay ko dun sa recipe natin, it has to be frothy. Alright, so we have Anne Rowena watching from 100 Islands, Pangasinan. Hello, thank you so much for tuning in, Miss Anna. So yung first step natin is for us to whip the egg whites. Frothy or kailangan siyang foamy. Frothy, I believe, ginamit ko yung term na frothy. So, okay, hinto natin siya ng konti. I will show you. So, it's kind of, yeah. So, basically, yung stage na to, it's foamy. And that's the time wherein you will introduce the granulated sugar. Okay? So, a little bit more. Bakit natin siya introduce at this stage? Hello, Ms. Rowena, watching from Davao City. Thank you so much. By the way, I do have friends watching all the way from Cebu. So maayong hapon. And of course, I highly recommend that you try Sugar King for your powdered sugar requirement. All right. So, kung makikita nyo, foamy, but not, it's actually below yung soft peak. Wala pa to sa soft peak. This is the time that we will actually introduce our granulated sugar gradually. Okay. So Chef, bakit hindi natin introduce yung granulated sugar once it's medium peak? So basically, we will allow the granulated sugar to actually melt together or mix together with our egg whites. Kasi kapag in-introduce natin to, nearing the end, there's a big possibility that your meringue will actually deflate. Babagsak yung meringue natin. So we don't want that. So gradually, we will introduce our granulated sugar to our meringue. So when I say gradually, papakita ko sa inyo kung gano'ng kakonti So slowly, we can actually crank up the speed. Okay. So kung may mga hugot kayo dyan, i-comment nyo na rin. So we have Jen watching all the way from Bacoor. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tapos ang kagandahan dito, hello Miss Myra. So Arwin. Hello Arwin, Chef Arwin watching from Pangasinan. So yan, unti-unti lang. Ganon din naman sa love, kailangan unti-unti lang bibigay mo para hindi ka maubusan. Alright. So since we are using yan, humugot na si Charlie. Yung speed, kagaya ng pag-ikot-ikot niya. Ayun, nakaka-relate ako dyan. Okay, so gradual hanggang maubos lang yung our granulated sugar. Hello, Miss Josie, watching from Antipolo City. So since we are using yes, baka maubusan, di ba? So coming from Francesca, wag daw ibigay lahat, wag ibuhos. Kasi baka walang matira sa atin. So inform ko lang kayo, cooking show to hindi po ito showbiz. So since we're actually using a KitchenAid, required siya na i-scrape yung sides para mahalo. So at this stage, makikita nyo, wala pa siya sa, I believe this is soft peak, but our goal for today, ang meringue natin dapat firm. Okay? Alright, totoo yan. I can totally relate kay Wilson. Yes. Kung titingnan nyo siya, masyado siyang basic yung ingredients, pero there's so much techniques that we actually introduce sa pastry na to the point na nagsi-fail siya. Parang yung nakaraan. Okay. So yan, pagpasensyahan nyo na po ako kasi ganun talaga. Part talaga ng buhay yung yung mga fail. Ayan, so labanan na ba to ng hugot? Totoo yan, Band-Aid. Sana it's as easy as putting Band-Aid. Okay, so basically ngayon na na-introduce na natin yung lahat ng granulated sugar, ika-crank up na natin yung speed. So basically, I'm working with the highest speed ng KitchenAid. Alright, if you are introducing colors, this is the time na ilalagay na natin yung kulay. Okay? So safe na siya, hindi na siya babagsak. Alright, so from Miss Cyril, kala ko naman question naman for baking related. Muling subukan, malay natin, mag-work. Totoo yan. Ganun, fight lang dapat. Hello, Miss Marites Magpantay. Hello po. Okay. Let me go ahead and show kung nasa na yung stage. So this one, pansin nyo, it's fairly, wow, Marites Magpantay is watching from US. What specific state, ma'am? So just comment down below. Okay. So yun, stiff. But you know what? We're actually eyeing for a stiffer consistency. Again, if we are actually introducing colors, ito na yung stage na bibigyan natin siya ng color. Sana lahat may kulay, no? Okay. Alright, we have a question from Miss Rowena. Totoo ba, chef, na hindi pwedeng i-overbeat? Technically, kapag na-reach mo naman, yes, it's actually a factor. Pero sa Meringue naman, bihira kayong makaka-overbeat eh. Especially kapag binabantayan nyo lang. Pero ako, I tend to go a little stiffer sa Meringue kasi later on, ang purpose natin is actually to preserve our air bubbles coming from the meringue. So later, papakita ko sa inyo yung technique to actually preserve yung air bubbles ng meringue natin para hindi siya bumagsak. Okay? So one last check. So for this demo, plain white lang ang gagawin ko. Pero yung pinrepare ko kanina na macaroons are red. Ayun. So I think natuwa si Miss LJ sa mga hugots. Hugot natin sa ating while making our... Hello, Chef Joy. I'm sure kilala mo yung assistant ko. Yes. Okay. Okay. So at this point, dito na natin masasabi na tama na. Tama na talaga. Okay? So at some point, kailangan you have to draw the line para hindi ma-overbeat. Okay. So I just want to share. This is the consistency. So hello, Miss Anna, watching from Los Baños, Laguna. Hello, ma'am. So this is the consistency that we're looking for. Diba? So stiff, but not overbeaten. Okay? So ititigil na natin. Titigil na natin yung pagbeat ng ating meringue. So again, this is the consistency that we're looking for. So if you're adding colors, kamukha mo naman si Carl. So, actually matagal na ako nag-give up talaga sa showbiz. So ayoko na talaga bumalik sa showbiz. If not for Sugar King, di talaga ako babalik sa camera. Sabay ganon. Okay, so basically we are done. So what's the consistency that we're looking for?
How many minutes?
Miss Marites, actually hindi ko siya tinimer. Hindi ko siya tinimeran kasi I want you to develop that that ability to actually check kung okay na ba talaga yung meringue. Kung kailan tayo hihinto. Okay? So kailangan ma-familiarize kayo dun sa stages ng meringue. That would be better compared na bibigay ko sa inyo yung duration ng pagwe-whip. Okay, may hugot na naman tayo. Minsan talaga kailangan kailangan tumigil na tayo. So yun. So again, okay? Ganon. So this is the consistency. Chef, pwede bang hand mixer? Sobrang tagal. Ang tagal bago makuha yung... Actually, I've tried it using a hand mixer and it works just fine. Matagal nga lang, but eventually makakarating din. Magiging sapat din yung yun. So eventually, pag binigay mo na lahat, pinagtiyagaan mo siya, okay din yung may kakalabasan, pero minsan hindi. Okay, tama na po tayo sa hugot. Now, can I have a wet towel, please? Okay. Okay, so we have we have a question from Miss Cindy. Hindi kulay. Lalo na pag naisip ko magka. Ano po? Sige, babalikan ko po yung tanong nyo. Okay. So now we are left with 2 sets of bowls. Okay. Hello, Miss Lydia Grace. Yes. So Lydia Grace is my auntie, all the way from Obando, Bulacan. Hello, Tita. Thank you so much for watching. Okay. So we have 2. Sana all. Ay, ngayon na naman tayo. So, yan. Sana daw may consistency. Oo. Sa relationship talaga kailangan consistency. Paano po ang paglagay ng kulay? So LJ, technically, hindi ko pinakita yung paglagay ng kulay. But medium peak, pwede na kayo mag-introduce ng colors. And when it comes to colors, I highly recommend yung mga gel colors. So this is gel consistency. So yan. So this one, you can actually introduce it medium peak. Okay, medium peak ng meringue. So hindi na siya babagsak. So yun yung sinisecure natin bago tayo mag-introduce ng additives such as colors. Okay, again, going back, we have 2 sets of bowls. We have the dry and then we have the meringue, we have the dry. We did not sift this. So all we did was to actually whisk it to introduce those 2 dry ingredients together. Now, nakalagay sa recipe na kukuha tayo ng approximately, thank you daw sa paghugot, sorry, paghugot. Naku, marami po akong bit-bit. So, mabubusog po kayo sa hugot. So, nakalagay sa recipe natin, we will sacrifice 20% of our meringue. Sacrifice? Big word. Okay. So, 20% of our meringue, tapos, yun yung ilalagay natin sa drying ingredients. Now, the goal of the meringue, kailangan siyang ma-preserve. Dapat hindi nagbo-burst yung bubble or hindi dapat siya bumabagsak. So at this point, isa-sacrifice natin yung approximately 20% of the meringue para gumawa ng paste. Okay? So, mix natin siya. So kapag may mga hugot entries pa kayo, just comment down below, okay? So ito. Again, nakalagay sa recipe, mix aggressively. Okay? So basically, i-deflate natin yung meringue na to para maging paste yung ating dry ingredients. So what I'm doing right now, dinideflate lang natin yung meringue and slowly introducing it to our dry ingredients. Okay? All right, we have a question from Miss Kim. Mag-iiba po ba ang consistency ng meringue kapag liquid? Yes. The reason why gumagamit tayo ng gel food color is para hindi tayo mag-introduce ng liquid. Kasi kapag naging liquid ang meringue mo, fail na po yun. Okay? So, meron tayong ina-eye na consistency for our meringue para, that's why we use or we introduce less liquid from our additives. Okay? All right? Ay, ayan, hugot na naman tayo. Alam mo, minsan nakakalimutan ko nasa demo tayo eh, kasi ang daming hugot. Hello, Carla Bianca, all the way from New Jersey. New York, sorry. New York, yun. Hello, ma'am. Thank you so much for tuning in. So let me go ahead and show you the consistency that we're looking for. So this is actually a paste. Okay? So the reason why we did this, para ma-preserve at hindi bumagsak yung meringue natin. So nag-sacrifice tayo ng certain volume to preserve the rest of the meringue. So ganun talaga, no? Kailangan may sacrifice para... Ayan, so we have a comment from Go Chef. All right, from Raymar Lubes. So si Raymar Lubes, magaling siya sa Stringworks. Hello, Chef, for tuning in. Okay. Paste. So, medyo stiff pa yung consistency niya. So, what I'm gonna do, I will add more meringue. Okay? Dagdagan pa natin yung meringue natin. Okay? So yun. So basically, we are slowly thinning down our paste para mas madali siyang introduce. Alright? Okay, so basically, we are thinning down or para hindi siya ganun ka-stiff. Okay, so kung mapapansin nyo kanina, medyo crumbly siya ngayon. It's pasty. Or mukha na siyang cake batter na medyo stiff.
Chef, si Sir Eric John Ngon, Sugar King is now available in Leyte. Please PM Cake Area Baking Supply.
Wow.
So, siya yung ating featured store, si Sir Eric Ngo. Hello po!
Hello.
Available ang Sugar King natin sa Leyte, okay?
So perfect.
Cake and Arians.
So
yes.
after this demo, go visit yung store ni Sir Eric. And of
Yes.
course, I'm sure meron din silang tinda na almond flour. And together with our star ingredient na Sugar King.
Of course, meron talaga yan. Nakita ko yan. So, thank you so much, Sir Eric Ngo. Thank you.
Okay, so going back to our meringue, what I'm going to do, I will introduce the paste na ginawa natin to our meringue. So ako when I was starting out, sobrang munti ko nang iyakan ang macaroons kasi may mga moments na palpak. Tapos, but you know what? That is actually a venue for you to learn. Magde-develop yung techniques nyo on how to actually come up with a better macaroons. Okay? Alright, let me go ahead and clean up my station first. Okay. So ngayon, sure. Okay. So basically, what we're gonna do, technique number 2, it has to be folding. Actually, in technique number 2 pala, yung meringue preservation, which is yung ginawa natin kanina, nag-introduce tayo ng konti. Chef, we have a question from Miss Kyla. What would be the difference po if one would use APF? Well, it's not going to be a classical French macaroon if you're gonna use APF. Okay? Tsaka si APF po, very little to none po ang oil content niya. So, although grain siya, we are comparing grains to nuts. So, technically, iba po magiging result niya completely. Okay? Yes, meron po mga available na recipes sa YouTube na gumagamit ng APF. But you know what? Before we actually go to yung mga variations, dapat yung classical muna ang inaaral natin for us to be able to know the origins ng techniques talaga. Okay? Yun yung marirecommend ko sa'yo. Kasi before we move to a different recipe, i-master muna natin yung classical, which is using the almond flour. Now, what I'm doing right now, folding. So, cut in the middle, then fold. Cut, fold. Cut, and fold. So, why am I folding it instead of aggressively mixing it? Kasi we want to preserve those air bubbles that is trapped in between those meringue. Okay? Okay? So basically, makikita nyo sa recipe, meron tayong term na macaronage. So it's a French term na ginagamit ng mga macaron makers. And the consistency that we're looking for, it has to be shiny and a little bit runny. Okay? You have to write that down. It has to be shiny and a little bit runny. Now, paano natin malalaman kung na-reach na natin yung point na yun? Sabi dun sa book, it has to form a V shape. Okay? So that's the consistency that you're actually looking for. Hello, Miss Melissa. So thank you so much for the heart. Okay, so basically, nagfo-form na siya. Actually, may mga recipes na may mga specific number of times pa na imi-mix. Parang for me, medyo over na yon. So kailangan mag-develop lang talaga kayo ng certain I, na malalaman nyo kung kailan na kayo hihinto. Ayan na naman tayo sa paghinto eh. Di ba? So ayan. So basically, we are good to go. We have reached the consistency that we are looking for. Can I have the piping bag, please? All right. I'm going to set this aside, and now we will pipe our French macaroons. Can I have that one? All right. So for our French macaroons, I'm actually using a silicone mat, and then meron akong tray. But if you're at home and you don't have a silicone mat, or you don't have access to silicone mats such as this, pwede kayong gumamit ng parchment paper or wax paper. But you have to consider na, can I have the wax paper? Kailangan medyo firm. Actually, may specific brand ako ng wax paper na ginagamit for macaroons. Pero papakita ko lang sa inyo kung gaano kakapal yung siya. Kasi anything that is thinner, didikit po yung French macaron nyo. Alright, a little bit runny and shiny. Yun po yung hinahanap natin, mesansu. Okay. Alright, so now we do have this. Expert ka talaga pag sa... ano ba yan? Okay. Okay, so now I do have a technique in filling up your piping bag. So Emer, Raimundo Tan, so she's my auntie. She's watching all the way from Palawan. Thank you so much for tuning in, Tita. So now, we do have a round tip. Actually, pwede naman kahit hindi nyo naman gumamit ng round tip. But, you know, for consistency, and since we are actually piping small macaroons, I'm gonna use this one. But it's optional, actually. Okay? So this one, I'm just using a piping bag. Now, I want you to form a C with your hand. Form a C. Okay? Tapos, dun magkikradle yung ating piping bag. And then you have to fold it back. Okay? You will have to maintain that letter C. Now, next. You have your thumb. Dun natin isi-scrape off yung ating... Okay? So these are basic techniques para makagawa kayo ng, to fill your piping bag. Okay? Now, again, pansin nyo? Sorry. Let's clean that up. Alright, so basically, i-maintain lang natin yung letter C, and then we are actually scraping it dun sa thumb natin. Alright. So, for this, you know, yung ibang mga bakers, actually gumagamit sila ng template na pina-follow for their macaroon. But for this one, I'm just gonna do a demo ng walang template, okay? But if you're comfortable with your using a template, you may do so. But for this one, yan. Tapos, of course, we have to make sure that your mat is clean. Okay. Alright, so nothing special sa pag-pipe nito. All we have to do is 90 degrees, then press, then stop. Okay? You have to consider that this particular mixture, medyo running siya, so magbibigay tayo ng spaces. So minsan kailangan mo talaga magbigay ng space. Okay? So, para maging successful yung macaron nyo, kailangan nyo ng konting space. Malay nyo masalba. Diba? Okay, we're talking about macaroons, right? So, let's get back to macaroons. Okay, now, so approximately this one is as big as a coin. So, I believe a peso coin. So, depende sa inyo kung anong magiging final visual presentations ng macaron nyo. But for this demo, I'm gonna make it as big as this. Okay, pansin nyo, nag-spread out siya. Okay, let me go ahead and continue. Press, then stop. Pansin nyo, hindi ko nililift yung tip. May adjustments ba ng measurements pag double or gagawa or madaming mixture? Technically, if we're talking about double the recipe, walang masyado. But if we are talking about times 10, if we're dealing with a bigger batches, yes, you may need to consult a chef para dun sa adjustment. Kasi more often than not, it requires more powdered sugar, more of the dry ingredients, and so on and so forth. So that's a very good question. If you're dealing with large quantities, you may do that. Actually, ako, mayroong nag-order sa akin ng 400 pieces ng macaroons for a wedding. Iisa lang yung oven ko. So, ang ginawa ko, nag-mix and plus ako or nag-prepare ako ng in advance, sama-sama yung dry ingredients, tapos magkahiwalay lang yung, naka-wrap lang sila ng plastic bag. Tapos, I believe I was able to prepare like 30 preparations, tapos nasa plastic bag lang sila. So, if you're dealing with high volume or high capacity production, you may do that. Okay? So, preparation is always the key. Okay, now going back, let me go ahead and continue again. 90 degrees, then press, then stop, then lift. 90 degrees, pressure, and then wait for the right amount or size, then lift. Okay? Kailangan ng space. Totoo yan, meds. Kailangan din ng space sa macarons. So we have dense, yes. Okay, so para magising kayo, di ba? So kailangan natin ng konting showbiz. Alright, going back, let's go ahead and finish our macaroons. 90 degrees. Then stop. 90 degrees, pressure, pressure, stop, then lift. Then lift. Alright. So, konting katahimikan po. Medyo nahihirapan ako sa multitasking pag nagpapipe eh. Talaga, pag gumagawa ako sa bahay, sobrang tahimik ko. So again, ang key technique lang dito is for you to consider yung pag-flow, yung pag-run nung mixture nyo dun sa spacing. Okay? So 90 degrees lang lagi tayo. Kasi, papakita ko sa inyo minsan kasi, mayroon ako nakikita mga nagde-demo na naka-side. Tingnan nyo yung magiging May tendency kasi the concentration of the mixture is on the other side. Whereas kapag naka 90 degrees tayo, maayos yung spread. Okay? So let me go ahead and finish this up. Okay. So, feeling ko dapat meron tayong sound, background music. Alam niyo kung sino dapat ang background music natin ngayon? Si Moira. Saktong-sakto sa hugot yun eh. So, next time magre-request talaga ako ng magre-request ako ng background music, si Moira. Kaso baka ending mag-iyakan tayo sa demo. So, hi chef, convection oven po ba gamit nyo? So, Miss Diana, actually, for this particular oven, nothing special. Yung setting lang niya is oven. Basically, heat source sa taas, heat source sa baba. Kapag nasa hotel, ang gamit nila oven. But for this particular oven, regular oven lang po tayo. So, heat source na sa taas, heat source na sa baba. And that's actually more than enough. Okay? Okay, let me go ahead and finish this up. So this one will require some practice, but you're just making some basic shapes. So okay, so basically that's it. There are certain recipes that require you to tap. Okay? So, yun yung mga firm na consistencies. But for this one, no need to tap, okay? And basically, we're done. The next step is to actually wait for it to actually dry. So, papatuyuin natin siya to form a skin. Again, all right, we have a question from Dance. Kapag maramihang batch pa, pwede na bang gawin lahat and keep ilang hours? There are few things that you have to consider kapag gumagawa ng macaroon. Pansin nyo, small batch lang siya. I prefer small batches compared to large big batches kasi you are dealing with meringue. Meringue kasi nagde-deflate yan through time. So kailangan, kapag ginawa mo yung meringue, you will have to process it right then and there. If not, it will deflate. And yung end product nyo, magiging runny siya kapag nag-deflate ang ating meringue. So we have our finished piping our macaroons. So it's fairly small kasi I want it proportion dun sa ating cone. Okay? So by the way, there is a classical term, crook and bush. So yun yung, di ba? Sabi ko sa inyo, dadalhin ko kayo sa France. So kapag pumunta yung, ano yung preferred temp ng i-rest? So that's a very good question from Charlie. Room temperature. So when you say room temperature, I believe, ano ba, nasa 20 to 30. Kasi pag lumagpas na doon, parang sobrang init na. But this particular room or the studio is air-conditioned. So mas okay kapag air-conditioned, mas mabilis ang drying. So this one, wala akong ibibigay na oras for you to actually wait for this to form skin. Diba? Sana minsan hindi tayo binibigyan ng oras, no? So skin, that's our next. As of this moment, it's shiny. But as time go by, magda-dry up siya, tapos magiging matte. Magiging not shiny siya. So that's the quick indication that your macaroons are ready to go. Okay? So, can we prepare for the cream, for the ganache? Alright? Is it okay na tapatan ng electric fan? Yes. Actually, that will actually aid the drying process dun sa ating macaroon. So, this one, we will wait for this to finish. Oh, okay. So again, magiging matte yung finish niya after siguro mga after 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. So, mayroong question before, magiging factor ba yung pag-ulan? Yes. Again, we are drying. If it's moist environment, may tendency na mas mabagal yung pag-dry up ng ating French macaroon. So, I will go ahead and endorse this over to my assistant. Punta ka nga dito. Ayan. Ayan. So, teka, babagalan ko yung So, ayan, para matagal. So, yun. So, basically, we are done with our French macaroon cookie. And basically, you can fill it up with however you want na filling. So some would use buttercream, some would use jam, but for this particular demo, I will be using chocolate ganache. Ayan, nosebleed na naman tayo, ganache. Basically, ano lang siya, cream, chocolate, and then we will use a jam. Okay? So ngayon, my assistant is actually preparing the bain-marie. Pero yung recipe natin, nire-require ko kayo for direct heat. So when you say scalding, so if you could turn your recipe to chocolate ganache, dark chocolate raspberry ganache, it requires you to scald the cream. So what do you mean by scalding? Scalding is a term that we use for dairy products, liquid dairy products. Okay, so that go with milk, cream. Kasi, di ba, when we are actually simmering water, okay lang siya. But kapag nag-simmer ang dairy products natin, there's a big possibility, by the time na ma-reach na yung boiling or simmering point, sunog na siya. Kasi you have to consider meron siyang milk solids. Okay? That's why we use the term scald. So when we say scalding, ano ba yung indication ng scalding? It has those small bubbles on the side of the pan. But for this recipe, since medyo malayo yung induction natin, para makita nyo, gagamit tayo ng bain-marie or double boiler para to melt our chocolate together with our cream. So, yung consistency and can I borrow? So for the consistency ng ating ganache or the ratio, it actually depends on. Ma'am, can we adjust the camera? Okay. So this one, this is just a chocolate compound. Chocolate compound lang siya. So gentle. So yun, gentle heat lang talaga siya. So slowly we are melting our chocolate. So by the way, dark chocolate and raspberry, they are perfect for each other. Diba? Perfect. Sana all perfect. Anyway, dark chocolate, any berries na ihahalo sa dark chocolate is a perfect flavor combination. So kunyari meron kayong strawberry, you may use strawberry as well. So all you have to do is mix them up. But you have to consider kailangan yung i-heat up si cream kapag gagamit po tayo ng fresh fruit puree. So right now, I'm just melting it. I'm just taking my time in melting this chocolate. Then later on, we will introduce our cream. So yung ratio ng ganache nyo, kayo na rin mag-decide kasi may mga places, for example, sa Baguio, the more cream or the more liquid ingredients that you actually use, the better kasi malamig naman yung temperature. But here in Manila, yung ratio ng cream versus chocolate, mas mataas yung chocolate para mas mag-set. Oo. Nako, huwag kayong mag-alala. Marami pa akong bit-bit na hugot. So hopefully, marami kayong natututunan as of this moment. And these are the techniques that I've actually learned through time. Again, yung recipe na binigay ko is actually 9 years old. So, ganun ng katagal since I've actually came up with that specific recipe. And it works for me up until now. Okay? So, again, we are dealing with the filling. So, tunaw na siya. And then, we are going to introduce the cream. So, for the quantity nung ginagamit nating recipe, all you have to do is refer to the recipe manual na pinost natin. Okay. So, yan. So, tanggalin na natin siya dito. Now, I'm using jam. So, preserve siya. So, you can use whatever jam flavoring that you want. So, perfect kasi si dark chocolate dito sa flavor na ito. That's why we are using it. So, gently fold lang. Kasi, merong tendencies ang chocolate na mag-break. So, Pearl is watching all the way from Ilocos Sur. Hello? Hello, Miss Pearl? Okay. Alam niyo, feeling ko after this, nako, marami kayong baon na nahugot. Alright, so kung mapapansin niyo, yung consistency ng ating ganache, it's very runny. All you have to do is let it set. Bigyan niyo ng time. Yan naman tayo sa time eh. Yan naman tayo sa time. So bigyan niyo ng time for it to actually set. Ako, when I was working in the hotel, we are dealing with large batches of ganache. So ang ginagawa namin, tutunawin namin yung chocolate together with the cream, then we will just leave it room temp. But yung room temp namin sa hotel, air-conditioned eh. So slowly, you don't need to put it inside a refrigerator. All you have to do is just let it rest over room temperature. But if you are Ayan, feeling ko after this, yes, hopefully makamove on na tayong lahat, no? Yun yung goal natin, makagawa ng macaroon tsaka makamove on. So yun yung goal natin for this demo, and hopefully magkatotoo. Okay, so at this point it is runny, and we will wait for it to actually firm up. Making ganache. Okay, chef. So we have a question from Miss Karen. Chef, ano pong remedy kapag nag-break ang oil? Okay. Ang remedy ng ganache, when you're pag nag-break yan, di ba? Hindi talaga may iwasan pag nag-break eh. So kailangan may remedy tayo. So kapag naghiwalay yung oil sa chocolate, all you have to do is whisk it rapidly or mag-introduce ka ng cream. So for example, nag-break siya, introduce ka ng cream, tapos emulsify. Kasi ganache is an emulsified. Ano bang emulsification? Explain ko kung ano yung emulsification para hindi kayo mag-nosebleed. Emulsification, yun yung process ng pagmimix ng unmixable liquid. So we have water and oil. That's why so this one, yung ganache natin or yung chocolate natin is oil-based. Then yung cream natin, there's a big possibility na mag-repel siya. So that's why we use the term emulsification. Now, paano natin ma-remedy? Whisk it up. Introduce more cream, then whisk it up. Okay? So, magwi-whisk or maghahalo sila together. Okay? Then, after that, let it rest, let it sit, and mag-firm up din siya. So basically, ihahalo lang natin yung oil back dun sa solids niya. Okay? So hopefully I was able to answer your question, Miss Karen. And yes, there are moments na nagbe-break talaga yung ganache. So that's the quick remedy. Okay? So I will go ahead and allow this to rest. Okay, can I have the other one? Yes. So this one, ito na yung ginawa natin ahead of time. So it's actually the perfect consistency. So pansin nyo, pag binibigyan nyo ng time, talagang bumabalik siya sa magandang consistency. Okay? So this one, okay na yan, pliable na siya. So yung ratio ng ating jam or preserves, it actually depends on you. Okay? Kung gusto nyo ng mas stronger yung flavor, so we have all the way from Quezon Province. Wow! Hello, ma'am. So, chef, ilang araw po mag-expire? Miss Maritas, what are you talking about? The ganache or the macaroon shell? Kasi the macaroon shell, if you are, kunyari, meron din kayong orders na 200 pieces, you can actually prepare it ahead of time, keep it in an airtight container, and then you can keep it as much as siguro 2 weeks. As long as it's properly kept in an airtight container. Pero kapag na-introduce na natin yung ganache, siguro the maximum would be 7 days refrigerated. Okay? Alright, so right now, so where's our macaroon? Hindi, yung puti. I think our macaroon is ready for the oven. Hello, Miss Ai. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay. So this one. So, eto na siya. Pansin nyo, compared to dun kanina, hindi na siya as shiny. Now, I'm going to touch it. Hindi na dumidikit yung finger ko dun sa macaroon. So, this is a sign that your macaroon cookies are ready for the oven. Okay? So again, going back to the question, we have Maria Teresa all the way from Australia. Hello, ma'am. Thank you so much for watching. So for this one, sabi niya, do you need a special oven? No. I've tried making macaroons in a gas oven. I've tried making macaroons in a regular electric oven, and it works just fine. Okay? So kailangan ma-familiarize lang kayo dun sa topak, kasi lahat ng oven talaga may mga topak yan. So kailangan nyo lang identify kung if the oven is working properly, kasi may mga oven na hindi pantay yung heat. So all you have to do is check on that. Kailangan lang natin ng maayos na temperature and of course, yung pantay na temperature. So the oven that we're actually using right now is just a regular electric oven. So nothing special, it's not a convection oven, so you can do this at home. Okay? So this one is ready to go for 15 minutes. Okay? So yung cooking time niya will actually depends on the size of the macaroon. Of course, the larger, the bigger the macaroon is, the more or the longer the cooking time. Okay? For this one, 15 minutes is just fine. Okay? So this one goes sa ating oven. So let me go ahead and ask for my assistant to fetch this. And okay. Thank you. All right, so we will wait for that to bake, but we do have prepared macaroon cookies that is ready for assembly. Okay. So I was able to prepare red ones. Kasi Pasko tayo eh, di ba? So yan. Red na red ang ating macaron. Okay? So again, the signature for the iconic characteristic of macaroons, it has to have those feet. Okay? Or pied. So, sorry, puro food coloring yung kamay ko. Yan. So, those are what you call feet. Anong temp? Actually, I believe it's 135 Celsius. You can actually refer to the recipe. So we have that. Tapos, ito yung ilalim niya. Okay? So, kapag wala siyang paa, hindi siya macaroons. Hindi siya French macaroons. Baka pasensya. Pasado siya sa pasensya cookies. Okay? So, pag wala siyang feet, pasensya na lang po. Yun na lang yung magiging characteristic niya. So, pasok siya sa characteristic ng pasensya. But for French macaroons, those are the requirement. It has to have those small feet. Okay? Ito na. Can I have the piping bag and the tip? Can I have yung small star tip? Hindi, okay na yun, okay na yun. So now, we have our piping bag. Actually, kahit regular na round tip, it's fine. So, yan. Okay. Hello, ma'am. So, si Miss Peralta, thank you so much for that comment. So, Miss Vin, where are you watching from? Saan po kayo nanonood? Think all the way from? Okay, can I have the ganache, please? Okay, again. So, for the ganache, kailangan mo lang talaga siyang i-refresh or recondition para hindi siya buo-buo. So, para perfect yung consistency niya. So, chocolate ganache with raspberry. So, chef, pwede ba natin palitan yung fruit? Of course. Pwede yung gumamit ng mango jam, ube jam, gawin yung purple, di ba? So, depende na sa gusto niyo. Depende na sa gusto niyo kung ano yung magiging finish ng macaroons. Okay. So, again, review. Paano ba mag-fill ng piping bag? Kasi these are one of those basic techniques na nakikita ko. Gumagamit pa, bumibili pa sila nung holder to actually fill up their piping bags wherein you can actually just do this. Letter C. And then, yan. Okay. So, a little bit. All we have to do is fill this up. Scrape it sa thumb. Right. So there you go. And trust me, ang bango niya. Kapag, I'm sure you know how chocolate would smell. Together with any berry, masarap talaga siya na combination. Okay? Okay, can I have it? Meron ba tayong extra na piping bag? Just to support the... Wala na. Okay, it's fine. So basically, ganache. And then, eto na. Ito na yung hugot dito eh. Every time na magde-demo talaga ako ng macaroon, merong hugot to. Kasi, hindi naman tayo pwede mag-serve ng isa lang, diba? So, kailangan pares sila. So, sana all, diba, pares? So, meron pair-pair sila. They are perfectly made for each other. So, yan. So, basically, it's not called macaroon if isa lang. So, yan. Pares-pares eh. Sana all. Mapapasana all ka na lang talaga. Tapos saktong-sakto Pasko, tas together sila. Nakakainin ko talaga to. So, ayan. So the other one, facing down, just arrange them like so. So, may mga, yan. So, this one happen kapag depende kasi talaga sa oven or the liquid that you actually introduce. But that's fine. Okay? So, gamitin natin to. So, this one. So, all we have to do is pipe a little bit. Ayan. Medyo firm yung yung putok siya. Bawasan na lang natin. So, this particular project, perfect siya for your centerpiece, Christmas centerpiece. Kasi hugis, Christmas tree. But on a regular basis, kapag hindi naman Pasko, you can actually sell it as it is. So wala naman siyang pinipili na season. So you can actually use it or sell it sa, again, yung pinakamahal na nakita ko is 150 pesos per. So actually for this one, ang costing nito, 25. If you're gonna do it at home, you can actually sell it for 25 per piece. So, pwede nyo gawin. Aside from chocolate filling with berries, ano pa po ang pwedeng gamitin? So, pwede kayong gumamit ng buttercream. Pwede kayong gumamit ng preserves. Ano pa? Actually, so, buttercreams, preserves, tapos yung iba't ibang klase ng chocolates, you can actually use that. White, milk, depende sa preference nyo. But for this one, actually, meron akong nagawa before, ube flavor siya. So the jam itself, yun yung ginamit ko mismo na filling. But if you want a subtle ube flavor, fino-fold ko siya sa buttercream. Pero yung buttercream has tendencies to actually melt sa Philippine weather. So be careful lang sa yan. Let me go ahead and fill this up. So hopefully hindi siya, yan na. Wala na tayong Can I just have the parchment? So medyo firm yung ating ganache ngayon. So I'm just gonna use a parchment paper and I'm gonna show you how to make a piping bag out of a parchment paper. So I'm just using a parchment and gagamit lang tayo ng square. So, yan. Just fold it. Chef, paano pag mainit yung kamay? Mas matunang chocolate. Actually, yung mga mainit ang kamay dyan, ginagawa ko, yung damp cloth, lalagay ko siya sa ref. Tapos yun yung i-wrap ko dun sa piping bag para while they're working, the cloth is actually chilled. So hindi siya nagme-melt. So that's one thing that you can actually do. So now, ito na yung ating makeshift na piping bag. Ito, perfect din to pag nagle-lettering kayo. So all you have to do is make a square, fold it into half, into a triangle, hindi pala nakikita. Yan. And then, hawakan nyo lang yung dulo, then fold it inward. Pansin nyo? And then, parallel yung end niya, nandun siya sa middle. Then roll back. Then there you have your cream cheese. Yes, pwede po ang cream cheese. Tapos to secure, you can actually use a tape. If you don't have any tape, hawakan nyo na lang. Okay. Okay, so this is your makeshift piping cone. So, okay. Can I have a small, small spatula pala. No, no need for itip. Okay, so gamit lang tayo ng konti. And then, yan. Yun lang yung disadvantage nito. Maliit lang yung capacity niya. Okay? But this will work just fine kapag nagle-lettering kayo. So, fold natin inward. Then you have your piping bag. Okay, we will just snip off the tip. Hindi na kailangan ng tip. Kaya natin para. So kung may mga tanong pa kayo with regards to, speaking of question, okay lang po ba mag-infuse ng teas? Yes, pwede. Yung mga high-end na macaroon, French macaroon flavors, infuse siya ng black tea or whatever teas that are actually available. So, mayroong mga specific tea shops na ini-infuse nila. So, how do we work on those flavor-infused macaroons? Ang ginagawa natin, infuse natin siya saan? Sa chocolate ba? Sa cream ba? Siyempre, sa liquid. So, ang ginagawa natin, lalagay natin, kunyari, this is the cream. Lalagay natin yung loose leaf. Either isi-steep natin siya sa water, sa over bain-marie para mag-seep in yung flavors. Then, that will take quite some time, pero lalabas din yung flavor. Okay? So, dun lumalabas yung mga tea-infused na macarons. Alright. So, let's go ahead and finish this up. So, just a small amount. And then, sideways, pagdidikitin lang natin siya. Because it has to look pretty. Okay. Okay, so this is your French macaroon. And let me go ahead and finish that up. So right now, I will be asking my assistant to join me kasi tatapusin niya na to while I actually assemble our tower. So basically, without the tower, French macaroon, regular French macaroon naman siya. So this is the technique na pinakita natin na you can actually use for your macaroon production. So since it's Christmas, syempre, we will have to make it Christmassy. Christmassy. So basically, I've actually prepared a small cone. So, yan siya. Syempre, binalutan ko na ng fondant, tapos nilagyan ko siya ng royal icing. And then splash ng gold. Okay, now to assemble our French macaroon, all we have to do is either use your chocolate ganache or gagamit tayo ng royal icing. So this one. So perfect project to for Christmas with your kids. Kasi para lang talaga silang naglalaro. So, to do is slowly but surely. Ako, when I was working in the hotel, I came up with a version of this. Especially kapag mga Christmas dinners, kailangan talaga meron kang centerpiece. So this is perfect centerpiece for your Noche Buena. So yan, madali lang din siyang gawin. Tapos yung cake base ko or yung styro base ko, you can actually use a styro cone. But if you don't have access to that, you can actually come up with a cone na regular na cardboard. Para lang kayong gumagawa ng malit na piping bag. So I'm just securing this. So yun. So ito talaga yung dessert na mapapaisip ka, sana all may kapartner. Diba? Nakakainis. Salamat ha, salamat sa pag-remind. Right? So I'm just using this to stick it. So yung color na gusto nyo, depende din sa ano. Thank you so much po. Madali lang po yan. Madali lang po yan. Royal icing lang po, tsaka fondant yan. Diba? So yan. So, dito naman tayo sa harap. So, by the way, pwede nyo siyang gawin na sideways. Pwede din ang paganyan. But for this one, anahin ko lang siya ng ano, ng naka dikit, like so. Okay. You know what? Once we're done with the demo, tapos gusto niyo gumawa ng macaron, feel free to tag us, tag Sugar King dun sa finished product nyo. Kasi of course, we would want to see yung mga creations nyo using the recipe and of course, using Sugar King. I'm sorry? A little bit more. So, take your time sa pag-assemble. So, instead na pupunta kayo sa hotel parang to have macarons, dadalhin niyo yung hotel sa bahay niyo. So, ganun. Para meron naman tayong centerpiece for Christmas. Alam mo, as early as now, pinag-iisipan ko yung what do you call that? Yung kino-quote ni Sugar King after the demo. So sabi ko, napaisip ako, ano ba yung sasabihin ko na quotation? Oo, later. So, sabi ko parang pang ano naman to, pang mahirap na na tanungan. So basically, I'm just filling up those gaps. Again, yung ginawa kong macaron, proportion lang siya dun sa size ng ating cone. Not too big, not too small. So the white ones, lalagay natin siya sa likod. I think the macarons are ready. So yung white na ginawa natin, it's already done. It's finished. Pakita lang natin yung So I'm just filling up those gaps. So last time I was here, I did a demo sa gingerbread. So kung hindi kayo fan ng gingerbread, you might want to try this as a centerpiece for your Christmas dinner.
Chef, may nagtatanong dun sa mga recipe natin. Yung recipe namin, na-post na namin advance bago pa yung live demo. So yun, punta lang kayo sa page namin para makita nyo yung recipe ni Chef MJ.
Yes. And I'm telling you, that specific recipe is 9 years old.
Wow,
Usually,
9 years old na.
Yes.
Thank you, Chef. Share mo sa amin yung recipe mo. 9 years old
So
na
kung
pala.
mapapansin nyo, successful ang ating French macaron because it has those, again, feet. Okay? So
May
those are what you
paa.
call, yes, feet.
Ang ganda actually.
So,
Pag nakita nila malapitan.
okay, so let's keep it. Nakaka-excite. Sana matry ko yung recipe.
Hot
Yes.
hotel feels at home. Yes.
So sa dami-dami ng home bakers ngayon, I'm sure you will be able to replicate this recipe and come up with a similar product
Use sugar cane para make a partner. Tama. Gusto ko yan.
So yan, di ba? So nakita niyo yung feet? Nako, baka
Nako,
dito.
baka dito na ako makahanap ng partner ko. Sugar cane user din. Wow.
Yan, naglalabasan yung mga hugot nila. So,
Yes. Mga sugar queen and king.
okay, so we're just waiting for this macaroon to cool up or to cool down, sorry. Cool down. So, tapat natin siya sa sa
Sa
aircon.
aircon para mas mabilis lumamig.
So,
Chef, habang nag-aantay tayo,
Yes.
so gusto ko i-invite yung mga viewers natin na mag-hashtag Sugar King Jingle Bakes and magpalit kayo ng inyong profile badge. So, ayan, pwede nyo kaming i-message. Yung iba kasi chef nagtatanong, hindi kasi kami available dun sa badge doon sa online. So, pwede kayo mag-message sa Sugar King page and account. Message nyo lang yung profile picture nyo and kami na yung mag-e-edit. So,
Wow.
yun. Para katulad yung nakita nyo sa profile picture ni Chef MJ,
Yes,
naka-badge siya
nagpalit
ng
ako.
Sugar King. Payat siya doon.
payat pa ako doon kasi it was taken 3 years ago.
Yes.
So, yun. Pero pwede naman kayo gumamit ng updated kasi payat din naman ako ngayon.
Okay. So, Chef,
Okay.
tapos na ba yan? Or meron pa tayong
So,
inaantay
technically, tapos na siya. We're just waiting for the white macaroon to actually finish. But for
Okay.
this one, actually, meron akong finishing touches.
Okay.
So, kung mapapansin nyo, nilagyan ko siya ng gold streaks. So, I call that pitik method.
Pitik method.
Yes. So, hinahaluan ko lang yung gold dust. Where's our gold dust?
Okay. Yan.
So, ito yung gamit ko kanina. So, this is just gold dust. Tapos, nilagyan ko siya ng any liquid alcohol. Tapos, pinitik-pitik ko siya dun sa gilid. To have that gold streak ng ano. Okay, so basically, this particular cake, yan, gumamit ako ng sugar king for the fondant, then sugar king for the royal icing, piped royal icing on the sides. So, and of course, our French macaroon, which is nasa harap, it's made from Sugar King Confectioner's powdered sugar as well. So dito nyo makikita yung versatility ng product that you can actually use it for fondant, gum paste, then even those from simple to complicated ingredients or recipes, you can actually come up with very good products. So yan.
So, yan. So, Chef, mamaya, ipopost namin yung finish itsura nitong macaron Christmas tower natin. So, Chef,
Yes.
pupunuin mo yan, no? Pero
Yes, of
ibang
course.
color,
Yes, white naman.
So, dalawang color siya. So, ayun. So, Chef, tingnan natin yung mga nagko-comment sa atin habang naka-live tayo. So, yun. Si Ding Ding, si Charlie Molina, we need more Chef MJ live para more hugot with Sugar King.
More
Yeah.
So hopefully,
Ngayon, numuhugot siya kasi pati Christmas, siguro malamig yung Pasko, kaya ganyan yan. The joke lang. So yun, dahil hugot tayo, Chef, ano yung mabibigay mong advance Christmas message sa lahat ng mga home bakers na nanonood sa atin ngayon? Sa mga, yan, mga kikisubaybay sa ating Lemon Streams. Ano yung Christmas message mo?
Christmas message. Tayo kasi mga Filipinos, yung love language natin is food. Pansin mo yon na parang kapag, for example, pumasok ka sa bahay ng kakilala mo o hindi mo kakilala, ang first thing na ino-offer ka ganyan, kumain ka na ba?
Totoo yan.
Diba?
Tuloy kayo. Kumain na ba kayo?
Di ba kahit for example, you're eating in a canteen, tapos nakita mo yung kakilala mo, kain. Di ba? So that is our love language, na parang the food is actually a gift that we want to share to our loved ones, di ba? So yung mga home bakers, more often than not, ang comment nila na parang, chef, mahirap yan, I don't want to try it. You know what? Anything that is prepared with love is a well-prepared dish. So, have that confidence na kapag ginawa ko to, na I have my loved ones in mind, you know, maganda yung pagkakagawa sa kanya. And I'm sure matitikman ng mga mahal ko sa buhay or my clients, for those who are actually baking for as a business, would be able to, you know, come up with a very good products as long as it's made with what? With love.
Yeah,
So yun
natawa
na
ako.
yun.
Kumain ka na ba? Tapos, ayun na agad. Wow, ang bilis
Huwag
na,
naman, ang
grabe.
parang base ng pangyayari na yun.
Ang bilis doon. Kumaayon. Ayan, may sumisigaw dito. Kumain ka na ba as a friend?
Ay,
Yun.
grabe naman yun. Parang
Nako.
mapanakit yung comment na to.
Yes.
Nako, pumayat ka, chef. Ibig sabihin, kailangan mo ng love language.
Oh.
Parang, okay lang yan, may pambili naman po ako ng food.
Ayun, may pambili ka ng food. Tsaka
Okay na
ano
po
na,
ako.
ang kasama ni Chef ngayong Pasko si Sugar King.
Yes.
Oh,
At least,
kaya,
diba,
masaya
matamis.
na. Matamis ang Pasko. Pag si Sugar King ang gamit mo.
Alright, so from Miss Sevilla, thank you, Chef MJ. I learned a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, talagang shinare ko tong recipe na to and this particular demo para matuto talaga kayo. And hopefully, you were able to grasp those techniques na works for me. And definitely, kapag na-follow nyo, will work for you as well.
Yes, Chef. Tsaka sobrang sulit nitong demo kasi umpisa pa lang ng demo natin, nagbibigay na ng tips si Chef MJ. May tinuturo na siyang mga techniques. Grabe, yung mga tinuturo niya actually, parang sa school ko lang ata maririnig yun. So talagang wow, thank you so much, Chef MJ.
More than
Siyempre,
happy to
all yung
be.
mga viewers natin, lalo na yung mga nasa bahay lang, siyempre gusto rin nila malaman at matuto ng mga ganong techniques, di ba? So
Yan, may
kaya
hugot
sobrang
na.
nakakatuwa. Isa pa lang hanggang matapos yung demo, bawat step na ginagawa ni Chef MJ, talaga tinuturo niya at sinishare niya talaga sa atin. So Chef MJ, thank you hindi ka madamot.
Thank you so much. You know what?
Pasko
It's my
talaga.
pleasure to actually have this second demo under Sugar King. So, ayan. Bakit may
Yun. Chef, sendan kita ng cinnamon rolls using
Ay,
Sugar
perfect.
King.
Perfect.
Ay, wow.
I'm sure masarap yung
Chef,
ano.
pag sinendan ka niya, bigyan mo kasi gusto ko rin matikman yan. Siyempre, Sugar King yan.
Again, food is our love language. Siyempre, share ko yun, di ba? Share ko yun sa mga mahal natin sa buhay and of course, our friends and families.
Yes,
Chef,
ito si Chef Rod Labia. Chef MJ, huwag kang mag-worry. Wala naman love life. Basta may Sugar King at kasama ang family, matamis pa din at masaya.
ay, totoo
ang Pasko.
yan. Totoo yan.
Actually, sa mga viewers natin, and gusto ko marinig yung short Christmas message nyo. So, mag-comment kayo dyan sa ating comment box, then hashtag Sugar King Jingle Bakes, and then pipili kami ng 5 na may magandang Christmas message at papadala namin kayo ng free apron. So, sana all binibigyan ng food. Bigyan
Pinapakain niyo ba si
Oo,
Miggy?
partner ko yan si Miggy. Hi, Miggy. Kamusta ka na? Kaka-inject lang yan kaya medyo
Ganun ba?
Ito, kaka-inject ng secret na joke lang. Ano lang yung vaccine. Mr. Ayan, Chef Kevin Visperas, napakagaling mag-demo. Ang daming tips na binigay. Explain talaga ng mga serious. Kasi talaga, kasi nakikinig ako doon sa gilid. Talagang wow, thank you talaga. Tsaka,
Thank you so much.
sulit na tumulong sa atin ng 2 hours na talaga na lang kay Chef MJ. So ano, may mga nag-comment na ba ng Christmas message dyan?
O, yung mga Christmas message niyo.
Oh, 5 lang ha. 5
5.
lang yan. So dapat nakita namin. So sino kaya? Christmas message nyo. Ito.
Teka nga, be specific. Message para kanino? Baka mamaya, baka sa nakaraan yung message eh.
Pwede sa exo para po sa lahat. Ito si Chef Wilson. Mukhang chef siya kasi nakuha siya. Chef Wilson Padilla. Thank you, Sugar King and Chef MJ. After your demo, tingin ko, ang galing-galing ko na. Humugot! Ano ba yan? Bakit humugot? Hoping to apply those techniques you've shared para iwas heartbreak na kay Macaroons. Yes!
Ay, totoo yan.
Nastab niyo kami. Gusto
So
ko
thank you so much for
makita.
tuning in and hopefully, yun nga, aside dun sa hugot, hopefully may napulot kayong techniques that you can actually apply whenever you would, make macaroons or any meringue-based desserts.
Yes. Ayan. So, last na to. Teka. Ayan. Chef MJ, kumain ka na ba? Charot!
Ay, hindi pa nga ako kumakain eh.
Actually,
Hindi pa ako kumakain.
after nitong demo, kakain na kami. Yun.
Ayan, so Christmas message from Miss Emer
Raimundo Tan.
Tan. So,
Christmas is Jesus. Celebrate Him with family and sugar cane.
Ay.
Yes.
gusto ko yan, gusto ko
Ganda
yan.
nun. May apron ka na. Taga-saan ba siya? Wag lang ibang bansa. Hirap magpadala sa ibang bansa.
So, Tita Emer is actually from Palawan.
Ah, Okay, sige.
Thank you so much po, Chef MJ, for sharing your
And you-
Yes, it's a 9-year-old recipe na tried and tested ko yan. Kahit nasa hotel ako, kapag gusto ko ng mabilisang macaroons, yan ang ginagamit ko.
Yes. Also,
Yes.
so bago tayo end, syempre gusto ko rin hingan ng Christmas message tong assistant mo. Chef, ayaw talaga lumabas.
Ewan ko ba dyan?
Chef, pakitawag na.
So, Chef Kelvin, come over.
Yan, dito ka sa gitna. Ako. So, ano ang Christmas message mo? Kaya mo yan.
Christmas message. Alam ko, Christmas message. Siguro, dahil sa panahon ngayon, sa pandemic, parang ang message ko lang is, tamang kapit lang. Lahat ng pinagdadaanan natin, lalampasan din natin.
Ano ba
Damn. Kala mo tapos na yun.
Ayun. So, mahihain po talaga siya. Pero, yeah. Thank you po.
Totoo
Chef
yan.
Kelvin.
So may comment tayo, I think, from Miss Karen, the taste of food is like a memory. Marami kang maalala. Totoo yan. I can totally relate to that. Kasi, di ba meron tayo parang, pag natikman ko tong adobo, ay naalala ko yung lola ko.
Yes.
Or naalala
Akala ko
yung
sino
lola
naalala siya.
Ay, sorry.
Totoo.
Wala akong maalala sa food. Pag dito, so for this one, ano yan, from Chef Rod, Sugar King, di lang recipe ang mapupulot mo. Ay, totoo yan.
Maging sa love life, may matututunan ka rin. Wow!
Totoo yan. So,
Love coach na pala kami.
so yun.
ano nang
So, eto,
nangyari
pakita
dyan?
ko lang mabilis to.
Sige, chef. Go ahead.
So, kung mapapansin nyo, ayan, nagpo-focus siya. Mag-focus ka.
Ano?
Ayan.
Yan. Ayan.
Yan. So, makikita nyo ang ganda ng pagkaka-rise, form ng feet or pied. Yan. So, ito yung white. Okay?
Oh, meron, no? Ang ganda rin ito. Di ko pa nahanap ang king ng buhay ko, but with Sugar King, feeling queen na agad, kahit haggard pa sa baking. Wow!
Totoo yan.
O, bigyan natin ng intro niyo. Pangalawa na yan, ha? Pa-message po kami, yung mga sinabunan ko. Sorry na. Dalawa po yan. Si Miss
Emertan. And then si Shaira.
Shaira, okay. Thank you so much, Sugar King and Chef Emden, currently working on macarons now. I'll try the recipe and also excited to make it. God bless. Merry Christmas, everyone. Yes, Merry Christmas.
Ayan. So, ito yung from Miss Karen.
Ito yung kay Miss Shaira. Yun. So, dali, mag-comment pa kayo. Then, don't forget,
So,
hashtag Sugar King.
Piliin din natin yung kay Miss Karen kasi siya yung nag-share ng food is memory.
Yes,
Na
okay,
totoo,
sige.
Totoo yan.
Yes, okay. Okay, si
Tsaka-
Miss Karen ha, yung mga taga-screenshot ko dyan. Sino yun? Yung una si
Emertan.
Emertan.
Followed by Miss Shaira. Then followed by Karen. Then we have Dorina Manalo.
Nag-enjoy po ako today. Dami po natutunan. Ang tagal ko nang inaabangan magkaroon ng demo sa French macarons. Thank you po, Chef MJ and Sugar King. Heart.
Welcome po, welcome na
Yes,
welcome.
welcome po.
And of course, kapag gumagawa kayo ng macaroons, you know what,
Sige, Chef, ituloy mo muna yan. Mamaya ko nababasahin yung lumabas dyan.
tapos dito, kapag meron kayong questions, kapag gumagawa na kayo ng macaroons on your personal houses, tapos may question kayo, feel free to message me kapag meron kayong mga unclear na And of course, I'm sure naman nakatag yung pangalan ko sa Sugar King. Then, hindi naman po ako masungit.
Yes, hindi
You
naman
can actually,
masungit.
you can actually message me.
Yes.
Parang may kumukontra na assistant ko. Dun sa gilid.
Mamaya, tatawagin ko ulit yan. So, ito from Bit of Me. Just like how a king was born on Christmas Day, we are so glad the king of powdered sugar was born to help us all. And we really love it since our first use. Thank you so much, Chef MJ and Sugar King.
Totoo yan.
Hashtag Sugar King Jingle Mix. Yay! May apron ka na. Last na lang, ha? Dali, last na lang. Mag-comment na kayo. Ang bilis. Dali na time. Despite bitterness this pandemic gave us, there's a still sweeter way we can enjoy this season with our loved ones. Let's celebrate this Yuletide season with our favorite sweets with hashtag Sugar King, hashtag Sugar King Jingle Bakes. Yes.
Totoo yan. Totoo
Ay,
yan.
ka na din. Ikaw na ang last. Thank you. Yes? Yes, yun. sorry, may kausap ko yung mga technical dito. So, yun.
So, ito yung finished product ng white. So, yun.
Ay, ang
So,
ganda rin
feeling
ng
ko
white.
mabubusog yung mga mga girls dito with macaroons. So,
Yes! Chef, tapusin mo na nga yan para makita
sige,
ng
tapusin
viewers
na natin
natin.
to.
Chef
Tapusin na
Kelvin,
natin
dito ka.
to.
Tapusin na natin to para konting ano na lang naman.
So,
ito,
so
magbabasa
hopefully,
ako.
no, hopefully yung projects lang yung tinatapos, hindi yung relasyon.
Yes, yung project lang, Chef, hindi yung relasyon. Lalo kung may patutunguhan pa naman.
Totoo yan. So,
Galing kay Miggy Yamato. Ang gwapo talaga nito. Crush ko to eh.
sino ba kasi ang Miggy na yan?
Ay, ayoko basahin kasi napapakanta ako. Baka umulan, hindi ko kaya. Next na nga lang.
Wow! Pang international pala talaga yung comment na to eh.
Thank you, Mariah Carey. Yan. Who needs jowa if you have Sugar King? Oh, yeah. Sobrang sweet kaya namin. Actually, nagtatawanan yung mga dito mga tao. So, yun. Uy, maganda rin
So,
to.
may question pala ako, saan mabibili ang ating Sugar King para after this demo, makagawa na yung mga viewers?
Yes, sige. Teka lang. Chef, babasahin ko lang tong last one.
Meron ba
Kasi,
tayong last one? Sorry naman.
from Rose Reyes, Merry Christmas everyone. Kahit malungkot ang Pasko namin ngayon, magiging masaya kasi masarap ang mabibake ko dahil sa recipe na tinuro nyo. Thank you, Sugar King and Chef MJ.
Welcome na
Sugar
welcome
King.
po.
Christmas jingle. Yon. Okay. Thank you po. Last na po natin siya na may apron. So, yon. And then, Sugar King. Unahin ko na, Chef. Ang featured store natin ay si Kate and Erin's Baking Supply sa Leyte.
Wow.
So, yung mga
Layo.
mga home bakers natin sa Leyte, mabibili nyo ang Sugar King confectioner's powdered sugar kay Kate and Erin's po. So, yun. Sa ibang lugar naman, Chef, like dito sa Manila, available, marami po. Actually, halos lahat natin ng baking supply here sa Manila, meron na din po.
Wow.
And
So,
then,
ibig sabihin kapag gusto kong mag-bake ng macarons bukas or mamaya, pupunta lang ako doon sa mga stores.
yes, meron na. At kung wala pa, kulitin niyo sila bumili sa amin. Hindi, joke lang. Kung wala pa, maghanap lang
Wow.
kayo para
Meron din
mag-order
palang
sila sa
Shopee.
amin. And then, available din si Sugar King sa Shopee and Lazada. So yun,
Amazing.
mabibili din siya doon. So, and of course, habang binubuo yan ni Chef MJ, ang next demo natin ay si Chef Sel this coming Thursday. So, magawa siya ng holiday cookies. So,
Manonood ako niyan. Manonood din talaga ako niyan.
Ay, nandito pala ako. Ako pala yung host. So, yun. So, yan, tinatapos na ni Chef MJ ang kanyang macaron. So, na-excite na ako
So, review lang tayo kasi may exam tayo afterwards. I'm just kidding. So, macaroons and macarons, they're correct. So, nag-iba lang sila ng language. So, macarons, isang O kapag French. That's why macaron de Paris. And then macaroons kapag English. Okay?
Yes.
And macaroons or yung coconut macaroons is different from the French macaroons. Okay?
Ay, Charlie Bolina, what if we want to send food sa Sugar King? Oh, nahiya ako. Nahiya kami.
Send food. Sana all.
PM Sugar King, na joke lang po. Thank you po, Ma'am Charlie Bolina.
Thank you so much.
Macaroons.
Pag konyo like me. Correct.
Hey, macaroons. Sige na, maging masaya tayo para kay Miggy.
So yan.
Yes, Miss Ai, Chef Selfin Luck, so excited. Yes po, next week na po yan. Thursday, same time, live po tayo sa Sugar King page, 2 p.m. Chef Sel. So yun, tinatapos lang ni, ayan, okay na ata ang...
Tinatapos lang natin yung French macaroons. And then...
I think tapos na. Yeah, tapos na. Yun. So marami pa silang pwedeng ilagay dyan eh. If you have, ano bang pwedeng ilagay dyan, Chef? Mga another decorative na pwede nilang...
decorations. Actually, pwede natin siya i-finish off ng, let's say, royal icing. Kasi royal icing natin kanina. Ito pala.
Ayun, may royal icing
So,
pala si Chef.
nag-add lang ako ng royal icing. So, this one, ano yan, kung hindi sweet ang mga jowa nyo, kainin nyo ng Sugar King.
Yes,
So,
isang
yan.
5 pounder ng Sugar King.
Yung
Ang
mga
isubo
ganitong kalaki
natin.
po, ganitong kalaki, paubos
2
natin sa mga jowa nyo. Wala pala akong jowa. So,
Yun ang papatry natin ha, sa mga hindi sweet na jowa. Shay Saludes, Sir Miggy, silip na. Oo nga, Miggy, pasilip ka naman. So may binibake pa kaming macarons dun sa oven. So mamaya, puno na yan.
True. So, this one, finish off ko lang siya ng gold dust. So, haluan lang natin siya ng any clear liquid, pero wala tayong clear liquid. Can I just have water? Lagyan mo ng
Yan.
off-cam, kasi may brand. Ang dami. Ang dami naman.
Bawasan na lang.
Tag dito, can I have gold dust, please? So, basically, hydrate lang natin yung gold dust. Kapag gumagamit ako nito sa cakes, can I have more liquid?
More liquid naman nga siya.
So yun. So basically, I use vodka. So finishing process lang siya.
Yeah,
So-
usually nga vodka.
So ito, for decorative purpose lang siya. Edible din naman siya. So I'm just using this one. Okay?
So ayan.
So para yamanin, para feel natin
Do you need brush
sa
pa?
Sugar King. Okay? Do you have brush?
I think yes.
Actually, for this method, hindi ko na siya ginagamitan ng brush.
It's okay siya. No.
Pwede naman. Yeah. So, ito, we have this brush. Pero, to make those gold streaks, gagamit lang tayo ng malinis na kamay.
Kamay.
So,
Kamay
daliri
siya.
lang. So, dip lang natin siya ng konti. And then, we're gonna splash some colors.
Oh,
Can you see
nice.
that? Can you see that?
Galing.
Para feel natin yung Pasko.
Yes, nasa
Yamanin na
buhay.
Pasko. So, kailangan may gold for our...
Ganda.
Okay. And then one last. So, medyo nagkulat po tayo sa studio, but we'll just clean up after.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's okay, chef.
So, yan. So, those are the finishing touches. So, mapapansin nyo, we
Ang ganda.
have those gold. Okay? So, basically, there you have it. Your French macaroon tower made with, of course, none other than sugarcane powdered sugar. Hopefully, marami kayong natutunan. And of course, nag-enjoy din naman ako.
Yes,
sa
nag-enjoy
ako.
din. Ako din. And nag-enjoy ako sa mga tinuro ni Chef. So, thank you so much po sa inyo lahat. And see you po sa next week, Thursday, with Chef Sel po. So, thank you.
Bye-bye!
Hey, Chef, featured store.
Hello po.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.